Okay, this is from Despicable Me. He's trying to snatch that little kid up. He gets the unicorn and he sniffs that booty. Yo, what's up, Charming Gang? We're gonna be checking out some more TikToks that will ruin your childhood. Go ahead and comment your favorite cartoon conspiracy theory in the comment section below.
This is the shocking truth about Despicable Me. These may seem like friendly yellow minions, but they're not what you think they are. The truth is, these minions are actually based off of a Nazi experiment in 1944. These crazy German scientists actually manipulated Jewish children and turned them into slaves. These heavy metal masks would be forced onto children so they cannot speak properly, and the masks were so heavy that they will stunt the children's growth.
I am about to ruin everyone's childhood.
Ruin it, bro.
Pretty much everybody's watched The Lion King, and everyone's favorite character is Simba. Well, The Lion King was brought out in 1994, meaning it's been released for about 26 years.
Okay.
But the average lifespan for a lion is 10 to 14
so
years in the
everyone's
wild,
dead.
meaning that everyone's favorite character, Simba, is dead.
He's dead.
He's been dead for about a decade.
R.I.P.
Share
Simba.
this video to ruin someone's day.
And he ruined it too bad.
Conspiracies that will ruin your childhood. The characters in SpongeBob are not just fish that can talk. They're actually creatures that have mutated due to nuclear bomb testing. From
because where
1946
Bikini Bottom is.
America did nuclear bomb testing in Bikini Atoll, which is where Bikini Bottom is located. Every explosion in SpongeBob is the same exact shape as the real-life explosions America performed. The Flintstones and Jetsons actually live in the same exact year.
Whoa!
They live in a post-apocalyptic world after a nuclear war hundreds of years before. After the
that is crazy.
The rich part of society, like the Jetsons, built cities in the air. The poor
I thought
part
the
of society
Flintstones was in the
forced to stay
past.
on the ground, which includes the Flintstones. Until
Okay.
radioactive levels go back down. This is why the Flintstones celebrate Christmas, even though the birth of Jesus Christ happened after the story. Also, the talking dinosaurs are just mutated animals.
All right, that was a pretty good conspiracy theory. The Flintstones and the Jetsons and even Bikini Bottom all take place in the same time period. That sounds like a Black Mirror episode. You know, after nuclear war, all the rich people are living in the skies, poor people are living on the ground, and who knows what's happening on the bottom of the ocean. That's just like normal life, you know? Mario on the trench.
I'm gonna ruin your childhood, part 60.
Let's hear it.
So we all know Toad, right?
Cute little
This
thing.
little cute guy right here.
Yeah, he's cute.
Well, this might blow your mind. Toad isn't actually a mushroom. That's right. It's just a hat.
So what is he?
My whole childhood is a lie.
What the hell is he
You
then?
guys know this really creepy ass girl from the movie The Ring? You know, the creepy girl that crawls out of TVs and stuff?
She
well,
bendy.
the actress that played this creepy girl is the same girl that voices Lilo from Lilo and Stitch.
Lilo's from The
You
Ring?
didn't expect that one.
I didn't expect it.
We all remember Sid from Toy Story, right? Mm-hmm. The bully.
Badass
well, in
little
one
kid.
scene when it shows his toys, the one in the middle looks a little strange. That toy represents a hooker. You know, in reference to like adult hookers.
Oh, Sid.
Pretty cool.
You bad little kid. You're so naughty.
I just discovered what the Krabby Patty secret formula is. Now, first of all, there's only one crab in Bikini Bottom, and it's Mr. Krabs.
Now this is where it gets scary.
The restaurant he owns is called the Krusty Krab. Now, if you look up a crab trap, it looks just like the Krusty Krab.
Okay, I didn't see that.
Mr. Krabs is a cannibal.
He
He's killing all the crabs and putting
He's
them
a
in
monster.
his burgers.
Who could do that?
The Krusty Krab.
I want to take a moment and talk about Sid from Toy Story because I saw a tweet that like applies perfectly, if we're being honest. How is Sid the bad guy if all he did was, you know, play with toys, you know, remodel them and all that? He didn't know they were alive. They shouldn't be alive. They're toys. Toys are meant for playing with. So really, if you think about it, Sid's not the bad guy. He didn't know they're alive.
I'm gonna ruin your childhood. Have you ever wondered why Candace's mom can't see the amazing things that Phineas and Ferb do? Well,
Is she
it's because
blind?
Phineas died tragically when he was younger, and Ferb was born with a disability. Candace couldn't cope with it and became mentally ill. Candace built an imaginary world where Phineas was still alive and the brothers did amazing things together.
It's all in her head.
Smirch is her psychologist who is trying to get her back to normal. The last episode where the two brothers go to college symbolizes her younger brother's death and her ability to move on with her life. I'm sorry, guys.
She was always
Your Childhood
snitching.
Memories, Part 13. Do you ever wonder what happened to Scar at the end of The Lion King?
What did happen
well,
to him?
Scar?
He died,
actually
right?
turned into Hercules' rug, which he used to show off to other people.
No
He talked
way.
about karma. Do you remember this scene from The Lion King?
We remember
This is
that.
when Simba and Nala had their baby lion cub. What makes this extra creepy is Timon and Pumbaa watched the entire thing happen.
They
and
watched
sang a
Simba
song about it.
being made. Oh, wow.
Ruin your childhood. In the movie Wreck-It Ralph, Calhoun's husband gets eaten alive by the cybug. And if you didn't already know, cyborgs transform into whatever they eat.
Okay.
Which only means, after Calhoun's husband gets eaten alive by the cyborg, she had to kill some form of him on her wedding day.
Oh, that's pretty depressing.
Now it's time to ruin your childhood. Today's story is the story of Mulan.
I like
and
Mulan.
Unlike my other stories, I don't think this will ruin your childhood. I think it'll make it even better.
All right,
According
better.
to many Chinese stories, Mulan was actually a real person. Mulan was simply washing clothes in her village when she overheard the army was recruiting men from every family. Mulan knew her dad was too old to fight, so she decided to masquerade as a man and take his place. Here's where the real story is different from the movie. Contrary to the movie, Mulan already knew how to fight before going into the war.
She know how to box?
The ancient Greeks in Sparta, some parts of China believed that the women should know how to fight too. So she left her family and went to fight in the war for a few years. It is there she met a young army captain named Jin Young, who the movie portrayed as Shang. Here's the catch though. Jin Young actually found out that Mulan was a woman very quickly, and furthermore,
I mean, it's not that hard.
They grew romantically involved, and Mulan eventually rose to the rank of general through the years. Eventually, Mulan revealed her gender to the rest of the soldiers as well.
Honestly.
Guess what? They also didn't care.
Yeah.
They actually respected her. You go, Glen Coco.
Like, if you really think about it, it's not that hard to tell that Mulan was a girl wearing, or in a guy, costume or, makeup, whatever. It's not like you can hide the boobies, and not like you can hide the curves. That's something men simply don't have. And plus, it's war. I'm pretty sure they'll take anybody who wants to fight. So yeah, Mulan, there's probably no point in hiding you were a girl. Ruining my childhood with one scene. Okay, this is from Despicable Me. He's trying to snatch that little kid up. He gets the unicorn and he sniffs that booty!
This is the terrifying truth about Thomas the Tank Engine. Have you ever wondered why the trains could talk and have their own emotions? That's because they're robots created by the Fat Controller. Believe it or not, the Fat Controller was actually a tyrannical dictator. He actually treated the trains even worse than slaves. If the trains didn't follow his orders, then they'll be buried alive behind bricks. If that didn't work, then they'll be reprogrammed and brainwashed.
I'm about to ruin everybody's childhood. The nursery rhyme, The Three Little Piggies. In the nursery rhyme, it says this little piggy went to market, and I always thought that it meant he just went shopping.
Yeah, to the grocery store.
That's not what it means.
He went to Kroger.
When a pig goes to market, it means it actually goes to get slaughtered. It gets killed. So that little piggy probably got made into a sausage or something.
Oh, poor piggy.
Poor little piggy.
Poor piggy, man.
What if I told you that all of the Rugrats were actually dead? That's right, they were all made up in Angelica's head. Angelica
I don't believe
suffers from schizophrenia. What really happened was Chucky and his mom died during childbirth, which would explain why Chaz is a nervous wreck all the time.
Okay.
Was stillborn, so Stu stays in the basement making toys for the son that he never had. The DeVilles had an abortion, which confused Angelica, and she couldn't figure out the gender of the baby, so she created twins. You may be thinking that Angelica had a friend that could also see them, but
Black friend?
been such a good friend to Angelica and play along with her disillusions.
Wow.
This video will ruin your
Angelica,
childhood.
you crazy.
Everybody's played Hangman in school, right?
Yes, sir.
Hangman's got a very dark meaning behind it. The aim of the game is to try and find a word
called
before
Hangman.
the man gets hung. And you draw out each individual piece until you find the right word. Well, the dark secret meaning behind this is that it only takes one word to end a life. Share this with your friends to spread the word.
Now let's go celebrate with a nice
it's called Hangman.
Then go sit next to Jesse.
R.I.P. little dude. R.I.P. little dude. Sad to see you gone.
After dinner we can...
Okay.
Forget it, Freckles.
He was about to grab some ass with a little key, a little bit. He was about to grab some cheeks. Go ahead and ruin my childhood. Try your best. Try your best. Slow this song down on Snapchat. Is this Alvin and the Chipmunks? Oh,
and now it's time to ruin your childhood. This is the story of The Little Mermaid. The Little Mermaid is a story about the youngest daughter of the King of the Sea who has aspirations of seeing the surface world.
And gave
on
up her
15th
voice
birthday, she swims to the surface and sees a boat. On board that boat is a handsome prince. But the prince's boat gets caught in a storm and she has to swim into safety to save his life. All the prince remembers from that night is that a beautiful woman saved his life, but he has no idea who she is. And it's then the Little Mermaid realizes she's in love. She realizes the only way she could be with the prince is if she becomes a human. So she visits a sea witch who gives her legs in exchange for her voice. So the sea witch takes her voice by cutting off her tongue. Woo! And every step she takes on land as a human feels like swords are being driven into her feet. Woo! The prince finds her and grows quite fond of her, but not in the way she had hoped. All the prince could think about was the woman who saved him that night, and with no voice, she could not tell him that it was her.
No, that's pretty more accurate, Little Mermaid. Like, Disney always trying to give happy endings. Life isn't that kind. Sometimes life is miserable. Y'all giving up the ability to talk to meet the love of your life that you knew for a couple of minute. How does Disney people fall in love after meeting somebody for one time? Like, how do you know they're not crazy? How do you know they don't, I don't know, sleep with the fan on?
Actually found love with another woman and broke the Little Mermaid's heart. She had the option of becoming a mermaid again if she took a knife from the sea witch and stabbed the prince. She refused, and with nothing to live for, but still being human, she took her own life by throwing herself into the sea.
Sad story.
After this one, because I'm about to ruin part of your childhood. Part 1. Oh yeah, fucking classic that. The Flintstones set in the past, right? Wrong! What if I told you is actually possibly set in the future?
In the future.
Not just any future.
Nuclear holocaust.
Future. Now hear me
Holocaust.
out. In 1987, there was a movie crossover between the Jetsons and the Flintstones. The Jetsons made a time traveling machine to go to the future, but rather it malfunctioned and they thought went to the past.
But it really went to the future.
At all? And it actually did indeed take them to the future. A post-apocalyptic future.
That's our future kids.
Before the Flintstones, a nuclear war happened which sent the human race back into the Stone Age. Mildly fucking inconvenient, that I'm not gonna lie. And the radioactive fallout over time made the animals look like dinosaurs again. Or some shit, I don't know. I'm just saying. Also, this aired in the 1960s. Now, if you know your history,
dinosaurs.
You know what was going on around that time.
Cold
so
War.
Not too crazy.
The Cold War.
Based off of that.
1960s.
The original costume for the Cowardly Lion and the Wizard of Oz was made of real lions.
No way.
Peter! This one hurts me.
Why?
11 episodes of Looney Tunes can never be aired because of highly offensive material.
Of course.
Oh, please tell us you're not having another baby. No, you're not having another baby.
That mom was a MILF.
I can assure you we will not be making that announcement ever again. Yeah, this family is big enough. Hey, you completely clear on that, Dad?
Why are you pointing your finger at me? Having babies is a team effort.
What do you mean? This should be good.
The birds and the bees.
You know what? Getting back to that big announcement, we're going on a family vacation!
My parents never really had the birds and the bees talk with me. I think I just automatically knew getting older what it was and how kids were made and all of that stuff. I mean, the stuff that we watched on TV or on the internet as kids were the best teachers. We were learning things that adults didn't get to see in person until they were grown adults. Like, we were exposed at a young age.
And now it's time to ruin your childhood. This is the real story of Tangled, or Rapunzel. Let me start by saying Rapunzel's parents were not royalty, they were peasants. Her parents lived next door to a witch's garden where the wife asked the husband to go fetch her some Rapunzel, which is basically cabbage. The husband gets caught by the witch, and in exchange for the Rapunzel, she asks for his firstborn child. So the witch takes the child, appropriately named Rapunzel, locks her in a tower, and raises her as her own. The only way in is by a window at the very top of the tower, which can only be reached by climbing her hair.
Gotta use that
weave.
weave.
Comes through the forest one day, sees the witch climbing her hair, hears a beautiful singing voice up top, and he's curious. He climbs up and finds Rapunzel, and they instantly fall in love. The witch found out very quickly because Rapunzel got pregnant, because they got busy.
Knocked up already?
Hair, disowned her, and sent her to the forest to fend for herself.
Use protection.
The prince returned only to find the witch, and she said, "You'll never see Rapunzel again." So the prince tried to kill himself by jumping off the tower.
Why?
He didn't die, but he was blinded by landing on thorns. Being blind, he wandered through the forest until he found Rapunzel, who had given birth to twins. And her tears of joy magically gave him his sight back. Yay, happy ending!
I hope those TikToks didn't ruin your childhood too much. Yo, what is up with all these Disney characters offing themselves when they can't have the person that they like? Like, yo, my homie, you just met them about a week ago. Do you really think jumping off of a tower or whatever they do nowadays is the right choice of action? But don't forget to subscribe, like, share this video, because without further ado, that was it. My name is Prince of Hawkham. Stay charmed, my friends.